My name is Stacia Mack, and you are watching I Birth Legends podcast. This podcast was created by me to give a platform to those who have and will shape the future leaders and legends of our times. Today, we have the legendary Stephanie Stokes. She is mother to a rapper, stage rocker, Toosii. And I am so happy that you are here today.
I am so happy to be here. I'm excited.
Your son is managed by
Flip.
Mm-hmm.
Flip is his manager. Arnold is the CEO of SCMG.
Man, I signed you 2 years ago.
2 years.
2 years.
First
This
play.
record, this car sticking to us, a real single, dedicated, hard work.
Gotcha. Okay. So he's under that umbrella, and we have heavy hitters under that umbrella,
Yes.
right? And he is making such a way for himself. He went on tour with us and my son, Polo G.
Yes.
And when I say you can see the star power in this young man, like he was so respectful. Great job, Mom.
Oh, thank you.
And when I say it's a saying that we say inside of our family, polite but nothing nice.
Okay.
He is so polite, but he is a man's man and let you know what time it is.
Right.
When he was on tour with us, I can recall touring can be brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And I can recall some of the shows they weren't familiar with them inside of the market. And he went out there, and by the end of his set, they were all engaged and following us to the next stop. Kudos to you. He is making waves, and I can't wait to see what more he does.
I talked to him a few times while on tour with you guys, and he was so excited to be there, excited for me to know, Mom, they're a family just like us.
Aww.
They're close-knit, they're very friendly, they're very comforting. So he had great things to say.
Amazing.
He always takes things on, and he's never a complainer, but he was definitely willing to let me know that everybody was so pleasant and carried him well, and that was the best feeling in the world. Like, okay, I'm not there, but she's a mom and she's there.
Absolutely.
So that was a good feeling.
So Toosii is from
Syracuse, New York, originally.
So we have an artist, Scory, from our record label that just came out, and he was even singing Toosii's praises. He's blazing a trail. I can't wait to get them together
I
to
hear
do
great
something.
things about Scory.
Yeah.
Great things.
When did you know that your baby was a star? What's his government name?
Najor.
So where did Toosii come from?
I nicknamed him Tootaba as a baby. And so he carried Tootaba into Toot, and then it's Toosii, because, you get to the man stage and it's like, yeah, let me put a cap on this. Let me do this.
He remixed it.
Yes. Yes.
And where'd you get his government name from?
His dad named him.
Oh, really?
His dad named him. He was like kind of the last of the Mohegans. What are we going to do? But him and his sister's name both are attached to French. So it has something to do with the French letter and the French industry. And sometimes she will even turn her letters upside down to say, I need to show that my name is French.
Come on. We like a little flavor.
Okay. A little bit of a twist.
How many children do you have?
5. I birthed 5 children.
Okay. And he's number
5.
He's the baby.
He's the baby of the crew.
Get out.
He's the baby of the crew.
What's your story? How did you rear them? Anything that you would like to share about?
I had my first child at 15 years old.
Wow.
So I became a young mother while in school, working. I became a cosmetologist at 16 years old, started my own business early on, carried that legend throughout, but I always was Mookie, and that's my nickname, Mookie the hairdresser. In the meantime, I always carried a second job, and I was a cheerleading coach. So I always had the soccer mom van. My children are stair steps, 2 years apart.
Okay.
Raising them, someone just said to me last week, what was it like? Was it ever hard? When I look back now, yes, it was hard. When I was going through the hardship, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. So what my girlfriend said to me is, you made it look easy. It's the only thing I know how to do. I'm not a worrier. I've never been a worrier, because it was always, if I do it, it's going to get taken care of. We're going to get it out the way. If something happens or something messes up, you mess it up and you fix it. That was my motto. You carry on. You don't dwell about it. So raising them was fun. We are very close-knit. We're very loud. We can be ghetto, we can be rowdy, we can be professional.
Right.
So they all have their own little individual thing that they like in their own story. Coming up, they all played sports. I thought Toosii was going to be a football player.
Football?
I thought Toosii was going to get a
Wait a
scholarship.
minute. We're talking about the same Toosii because this man is small.
Toosii is so fast.
Okay.
He is small, but he was quarterback. He was running back.
What?
He played several positions. He was excellent.
You know what's crazy? Most moms that sit here, we say that they're legendary and they're great inside of their field, but there was always another option because they were great at multiple things.
He woke up one day and said, I don't want to play football anymore. And I'm like, what? I'm not playing football anymore. I do it for you.
So when did he tell you he wanted to be an artist? How was that
He's
conversation?
going to be 21 Saturday. He told me 5 years ago. He just woke up one day and said, I'm not playing football no more. And I said, you're not playing football? He said, no, I did it for you. Like, I want to write music. And in the back of my mind, I had this big deal about that because it carried on in the past. And it wasn't a good feeling or a good experience for me. So I'm just like, okay, this too shall pass anyways, moving on. But he stuck to it and he stuck to it and he stuck to it. So he actually started out as King Toosii.
Come on.
King Toosii with a wrap of a scarf on his head, and he wanted to be different than every other artist. Then we went through the dread phase, and then he went to the haircut phase. Then changed his name to Toosii. He came up off of social media, off of SoundCloud, off of Instagram, off of Facebook, and rapping in the car.
How did you feel about him saying that he wanted to be a rapper? Because like nowadays, rapping it's no cheat code to get inside of rapping. And in addition to that, it can be very, very dangerous for our children. I look at like recent events when there's so many rappers and you see them and there's tragedy that's surrounding them. And it's like when they say, I'm going to be a rapper, you instantly think of something that's not stable. And then you go from a market that's not stable to something that's very dangerous. As a mother, did you encourage it? How did you feel about it?
No, I wasn't happy. Like I just had no understanding. Like, okay, so what's your plan B? And then he said, I don't have a plan B. I said, you don't have a plan B? Well, why don't you have a plan B? He said, because if I have a plan B, that means that I'm contingent on plan A will fail. Yes. And it won't.
Amazing.
So he kind of forced it on me. And it was no clue of where it was going to go, what it was going to be, what it was going to do. I heard this music constantly. I heard the noise. My house has always been a loud house. So I heard the noise. I heard the music playing. He would be in his bedroom and he would write. He would never come out. He would come out to eat and go back in. And he was writing. But in his writing, he was coming up with a plan. Because when you go back to him now and you say, do you have any tablets, any notebooks, any music written down? He doesn't. He records from his mind. He records right there where he is, right then and there. This is what came to mind. Oh, I need to record this right now. You can be on the phone with him. He'll cut you off. I gotta go. I thought of something. But I never ever find papers with lyrics or anything. So it was amazing. I didn't introduce him to great people in the beginning. He brought great people back home to me. And I'm the mother that needs to inspect all of your friends.
As you should.
So everyone that he brought around, believe it or not, is still around.
That's good.
His DJ was there from day one.
Oh.
His cameraman was there.
A good team is really important.
A good, strong team. They were family before they became a team and built this brand and getting to where they need to be today. When he met his manager because his manager's wife and I were good friends. And I'm just at the casino one day talking about my sons because my oldest son does music as well.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, his tape is dropping today. And because of this, Najur talks about where he came from. And because of his big brother and because of his father, this is why he wanted to do music. He wanted to follow whatever. His brother played lacrosse. He wanted to play football. He wanted to do it. So I look back now and it's just like, okay, almost 4 years ago, I walked him into a great manager.
What was the moment when you said, okay, we've arrived, we made it?
When it hit me that this is real is when I got on my first flight to LA. He had been going to meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. And I had no understanding to, okay, what's taking so long? Yeah. Y'all just say he just came out of Def Jam. He just came out of Universal. He just came out. What's going on? Mm-hmm. But I want somebody to tell me something because I'm a hands-on. Yes. And they like, we got you. We're going to let you know. So when they said, Stephanie, we're going to fly you out. Everybody wants to meet you. I said, this is really real. Mm-hmm. This is reality. And this was just February of 2020. Mm-hmm. February of 2020. It happened
so fast. I literally, like I said, I remember us going on tour in 2019. Mm-hmm. And then I look up and Toosii is everywhere. He evolved so quickly. And I tell people all the time that talents are cultivated and gifts are from God. You can tell that he is truly gifted. Like this was preordained for him. With the celebrity, how difficult has it been for you guys as it relates to the stardom? I know our adjustment was internet trolls. What has your adjustment been inside of the celebrity where you realize, well, I can't respond the way I used to, or I can't give this attention the way I used to because I've elevated to a different level?
I'm such a people's person. And I can't stress it enough. I love friends and I love family. I have yet to bump into negative energy from fans or people that we don't know. It's family that has become or given some disappointing moments. Yeah. And it puts me in a position to say, do we owe you anything? But for the most part, I've never been that type of person. I'm the person that wants to take care of the whole world. Yes. So I want to give because I know where I came from. I know what I received and I know who helped me. But I want to give even to a stranger. So my transition has been hard for me with family.
Yeah, ours was too.
With family.
It was unrealistic expectations where the entire family expected you to take care of everybody. And if there's one person that's breaking the curse of, poverty and establishing generational wealth, we ain't gonna have none giving it all away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You won't have nothing. You won't have nothing.
Yeah, so that was an issue for us. And we realized that you have to continue to walk inside of your truth, walk inside of your integrity. You have to be those things for those people that have always been there for you. And you can't combat everything and be everything for everybody.
I yet to know how to deal with it because I'm such a nurturer. Yes. And my children often say, you have to change. And I don't want to. I like being who I am. Yes. I don't want to change because...
But it's almost like in this walk of life, you never change who you are. You change who you give yourself to.
That's right. You change who you give yourself to. And I want to treat people how I want to be treated.
Absolutely.
I don't want to treat people how they treat me. So I have to learn to be stern. Yes. And I have to learn, my baby girl told me last night, you have to learn sometimes how to not respond. Yes. Everything doesn't need a response.
Is a response. So a lot of times that red messenger and notification, I leave it on.
Leave it on red. Listen, red is so disrespectful for me. I'm like,
they get the message loud and clear.
I'm the person that doesn't have any. I picked up his phone one day. He has 6,100 unread messages.
That would drive me bananas.
I don't have not one unread message on my phone.
Neither do I.
I respond to people. So
no, I leave it on read, but I'm going to open that notification.
I'm learning.
I'm definitely going to open that notification.
Okay, you got to stop it, Stephanie. So this is a dream come true. This is a walk that I visioned long ago. I just didn't know when, where, and how.
How it would manifest. It's crazy because you saw it for yourself.
You saw
it for your children.
I saw us in another state. I saw a big house. I did not see certain people. I saw certain people. And I kept saying, Lord, give me understanding. And my prayer partner said, ask for clarity. Lord, give me clarity. Make me understand. I saw this. I saw me with great people. I saw all of this coming to surface. I just didn't know when, where, and how. So it was like, a dream come true. As I told you, I was nervous last night, but I was excited.
No, we're cousins.
I was excited. I was walking the floor looking at my baby sleep like, should I wake her up and tell her? I don't know. I don't know when I get there, but she told me, she said, you're going to walk in and this is going to be great. So I want to tell you, thank you, because we came in and you guys welcomed us in, and it was like open arms, like we had been here before.
Absolutely.
Like we had been here before. So it was a great feeling. It was a great feeling. And I don't always get that feeling. I kind of read off of people's energy. It was a great feeling when we came in.
I appreciate that.
So I appreciate
anybody that we welcome. Toosii was family from the tour.
Listen.
So it was just a matter of time for us to get
Mommy's
together.
baby.
And I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming out, and I'm honored that you're here.
Yes.
Your son is great. You're a great mother, and it's my honor to even have you here on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Literally.
Well, I thank you for inviting me and having me, because I, like I said, I imagined this day. I just didn't know when, where, and how, but I knew it happened. I saw it. It was sitting right there. I just had to reach out and grab the blessing. And this is a blessing.
Now, no good deed comes without triumphs. Tragedy and triumph is just a way and a part of life. Toosii made a song, and if you don't mind us talking about it, he talks about how there were friends of his that did something really egregious to a family member.
I'm not sliding. My best friend killed my granddaddy. I had all the time crying.
Those children were family. Not only were they friends, I think one of them was a friend. They actually were like distant cousins. But those were children that I raised. I raised those kids. Those kids jumped on my trampoline in my backyard. I coached their sister in cheerleading. My father was the grandfather of the neighborhood.
So
and
they
the father
were close
of the
to your family.
They knew who my father was. They jumped on my trampoline. They rode in our car to AAU tournaments. My children went from sport to sport to sport to sport. And they played. I fed the neighborhood. I fed the kids on the street. I wasn't the mother that when it was time to eat, you leave your friends, you bring your friends in. Just let their mothers know where they are.
Yeah.
So those kids have sat at my table. They have jumped, and played at our basketball court on the basketball rim.
So for the people that are, the viewers that are watching now, and they're not abreast to what we're speaking of, can you just briefly tell them the incident?
My father was murdered walking to the store by family and friends. 4 children at the time were 15, 16, 17, and 18 years old when they murdered my father. It was a tragedy because we had just left home, just relocated a little over a year prior. And he had just said to me a week before, just come home. Because if you don't come home, I can't help you. And you're the one with all of the babies. It's only me and my sister are the only 2 children. I have 5 kids and she has 2. So she was married. She has her children. She's a school teacher. Her husband has a great job and they're stable. And I was the one who was needing my parents again. So when I called home, my dad said, you got to come home because I can't help you. And plus you took all my babies. And I said, Dad, it's not my home no more. I'm not coming home. And I'm at cheerleading practice one day and my phone rings when I come home that Monday evening, and I left the phone home. And my son's standing on the deck and he says, where were you? I've been calling your phone and I find out it's in your room ringing. And I'm like, what's wrong? He was like, Mom, they killed my grandfather. And I'm like, wow. Stuck, because like, is this a movie? Is this a dream? And I call my mother and she begins to tell me the story, and he's at the hospital. So we go through the whole spill of what happened, how long they worked on him. They couldn't save him. The worst part of it all is their children that I raised. But the best part of it all is that I forgave him. I forgave him. I'm not a grudgeful person at all. I don't want to see them inside for the rest of their life, because no one suffers but their family members.
Absolutely.
They're not suffering from the inside. Their mothers, their fathers, their grandfathers are suffering. I hope that when they are released, that they're rehabilitated and that they can walk a different walk in life, because for that to happen, there was something missing.
Absolutely.
There's something missing. It just didn't happen. Something had to be missing.
What was ultimately the motive or the reason? There is no justification.
Robbery.
Oh, wow.
$19. They robbed him for $19. So and we had to live through that. They took it to trial. So when they took it to trial, it's like, is trial really real? Do they really, like you watch on a movie? Yes. We're in the courtroom and they have my father's body on camera on a table, and me and my mother and my sister have to watch the videos as they use him as an exhibit in different parts of his body as an exhibit. And you have these kids here testifying that I didn't do that, but you're on camera.
So they never took full accountability of what happened. So ultimately, what was the verdict?
The verdict was guilty. One of them ended up getting like a 7 to 9. He's actually going to be up for parole soon. My dad, it's been 7 years. So he's up for parole soon. They got minimal sentences. None of them, except for the oldest, got 15 years.
When it comes down to the family, and loss is always so hard for everyone, how did you, as the matriarch, make sure that your family didn't become bitter, that they didn't become hardened because of this experience, that they didn't stop loving people and feel the kindness and humanity and just turn themselves, their heart to stone? What did you do to ensure that they saw this but moved progressively forward and made it a teachable moment? What did you do?
We have a praying family. My mother and father were heavy into church, ushering, church events, Saturdays and Sundays Bible study, cooking. My father was and is a legend. His line was wrapped around the corner and down the street. We couldn't get through his wake to start his funeral. So many people came out. He raised so many people's children, and it was blocks and blocks and streets. He was the grandfather of Sherman Park, which was the park that my kids played at. So everybody knew him. We have very supportive friends and family. I had to stand strong. I don't know how. It was nothing but the grace of God. But I have attempted to and fought to remain strong through this all. And I look back now and I smile. Because if they don't know my story, I'm willing to tell it. Absolutely. This is a blessing. This is a blessing. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's like, I can remember asking God one day, show me why I go through so much and why this person isn't struggling. And I heard a whisper in my ear that said, I'll show you when you're strong enough, but right now you're weak. And years down the road, it resurfaces and it's just like, okay, I forgive this situation. I've moved, past that. So it's a blessing.
So you have multiple children, multiple legends that you're grooming. What's the recipe for Toosii? What was the recipe and what did you impart in him and pour into him to make this legendary kid?
One thing I will say is to always encourage your children and never dumb their dreams down. It's important. It's important to allow them to fill out and go through multiple situations. They don't have to stop at one. I ride for my kids. And when I say I ride for them, I ride for them. And when they're done doing one thing and they want to try something else, I'm right there to encourage them. I'm going to be the mother that hides them if it's something negative until they're ready to do something different. In the meantime, I'm going to encourage. I'm going to be the mother to put them in the limelight when they say, I'm ready to roll, but I don't know what to do. What's my next step?
Yeah, my mom's superwoman, though.
My name is Stephanie Stokes. My son is Najor Granger, Toosii, 2X, and I birthed a legend.